Hey everyone, it's Wendy. I'm back after the New Year and Christmas holiday, and I have got some lovely papers to show you today. They're from Lavender Blue, and I'll link all her social media pages below and her shop. This one is called Cottage Core Spring Ephemera, and it's lovely pastel shades. Let me just find the papers first instead of the ephemera. I have used some of the papers because I've got a couple of things to show you first. So it's like gingham and flowers, and they're both green. They come in like pastel pinks and peaches, yellow. This is a peachy pink one, which I've already used part of. This is some of the ephemera that I've cut up. I think there's another part of another kit here called Tag Bases. So this is bits I'm going to use, and this is some of the ephemera envelope here. Postcards or journal cards, and lovely like vintage ladies with a pink hue. And it would help if I got them all the right way up. This is some ephemera to cut out as well. So I'm going to be playing around with that, but what I'm going to play with or show you first is this lovely booklet that I've made. I'm not making a journal with this, I'm going to do a couple of booklets. This is one, and it's made with 2 coffee dyed envelopes. Now I give these out at Christmas, or well, any time of the year really, or I'll put them in when I sell a journal just to make the weight up to the maximum allowed for that postage. So this is just a few pages. I think there's about 30, and I've attached them with grommets and ribbon just tied through the back there. And there's a little pocket here with a piece of the ephemera. I've just folded up some offcuts there of paper just for make little lists or journal cards, or as you wish. Then in the back is 2 tags with a little pocket on each one there with a piece of, a journal card from the kit. That's from the kit as well. Now this is 2 envelopes stuck together like that. So there is actually little pockets there. So I thought I'd just utilise those with the little tags like so. And then it just closes like that. And I just put a little tag on the front for decoration, and the same there. And the closure is just narrow organza ribbon. I've put a little dangle on and attached it with another grommet there. And that just ties round and closes on a bow. So I'm going to make another one, and I'll be back in a minute with another design of booklet. Okay, this is what I start off with. It's 2 coffee dyed envelopes. I've had these in my stash for ages, so I just thought, right, get them used up. And they measure 16 centimetres by 11.5 or 6 1/4 inches by 4.5. So they're approximately A6 size envelopes. Now I'm going to put them together like so. No, that's the wrong way. Silly. Like so. Just glue the flaps. Then I'm going to cut a piece of paper just to go across here, which I know it's 15.5 centimetres. Then it just shows a little bit of the envelope, and all the way across it's about 22.5. So I'm just going to get those glued together. So I'm just putting glue on one of the flaps first, like so. Slide that into there. Now you don't want to butt it right up together, just leave a bit of a gap, then you've got enough to fold. And what I do is I'm just lining up the bottom on my graph paper and at the side, just to make sure it's a proper rectangle. Then glue that down, And then we're going to put glue on this flap as well. It doesn't matter getting right to the edges here because this is going to be covered up with some of the patterned paper. Okay, so that's like that, and you can still fold it together. But the first design is actually folded in 3, like so. But first I'm going to glue the paper on. Now I'm going to use the green for this. I've got 2, in fact I've got 3 green pieces left. So what I'm going to do first is just chop the white borders off. I do have the guillotine at the side of me here. So bear with me while I just do that. It is nice to be back in my craft room. We did go away for Christmas. We were back for New Year and we were meant to be going out with neighbours. But I had a cold before we went away. And John came back with a cold, or rather a horrendous cough. So we ended up staying in on New Year's Eve, which I didn't mind. The place where we were going to go across the road was very cold, I believe. So I'm glad really that we didn't go. Right, so I'm going to just put some glue on here. Now I'm just using a glue stick for the middle part, but I'm going to use wet glue for the very edges. And it's just, I think this is Anita's glue in here. It's just a white water-based glue, and I'm getting right up to the edges with that. It will smush out a little bit. And just do a few dabbles across the middle. Right, and then this is for the outside of the book. That's the inside, this is the outside. Okay, and I'm just gluing that on. If you wanted to, you could ink the edges before you start, but this one I'm just leaving it white, so the little tiny border all the way around the edges, and I'm just going outwards to try and get the glue right up to the edges. Now in the centre part, on the first one that I've just showed you, I just used a strip down this side, and I'm going to do the same again. It's just to use some of the strips that were left over from the offcuts, and I'm just seeing if I've got another one the same thickness. Let me just have a look here. I think this one will do. I may just have to cut them down a little fraction, just about 1/8 of an inch. Just chop that off on the guillotine and chop it down to 15.5. So we've got 2 pieces like that, which I'm going to glue down. And then that leaves the little openings at top and bottom just to put, if you want to utilise it as a little tiny pocket. I always try and wary of who these might be given to. Now junk journalers obviously would be happy as it is, you know, the little pockets and stuff like that, but if you're just giving it to somebody that isn't into junk journaling, they might think, well, what the heck's this bit for? What do I do with that? So I try to be wary of who it's going to, if you understand what I mean. So I'm just putting more glue on this strip. Put the lid on that and glue around the edge and a bit down the middle. Bring that in and glue that down. Okay, like so. Now I'm just going to leave that to dry, and I'm just going to pull one out that is already dried. I put them under my mat here, like so. Okay, it's a little bit bumpy, but I don't mind that. I'm just going to turn this over because there's a little bit of glue on it. Then I'm going to bring my scoreboard in Let me just get my smaller scoreboard. Now this is about just slightly over 23 centimetres. So I want to do 2 folds to make it into a sort of gatefold. So I'm going to do 6 and then turn it round and do, should I do 6? That'd be 12 off it, 23, yeah, that should do. So I'm going to go 6 down here, then turn it round and do 6 at this side. And gently fold it in. It will pucker the paper up a little bit, but like I say, I don't really mind that. Oh, there's a little rabbit just going outside my window. I've never seen one running up there before. Poor little thing. I hope he's all right on the road. So that is the gatefold, like so. Okay, so now I need to get some papers together. So I shall just get those sorted and I'll be back. Okay, what I've done is cut some sheets of paper. There's about 30 there, and they're just cut from a notebook, and I've just cut off the rounded corners. So they're all together there. I'm just going to clip them because I need to use my big bite to... I'm making sure that the sides will still fold in and there's enough room. So I need to just put those together like so. And I'll just put that other clip on the bottom there. Will it reach? Just about. They're not quite even there, so bear with me one sec. Right. The clip on. And that one in the middle, I should be able to get the big bite through there now. So it's looking pretty. Right, big bite and some grommets. I probably don't have enough green ones together there, so I shall use the gold ones. So I want 3 because I want one for the closure as well. Are they deep enough? Because it's quite a few thicknesses of paper. In fact, I don't think they are. So let me just use these bronzy coloured ones. They're a bit deeper, I think. And I need to get the big bite in, put it on the cutting. So I'm just going to roughly put a pencil mark on somewhere round the middle. Okay, so I can just see under my big bite here where that hole is going to punch. Excuse me if the camera rattles a bit. And one on this side. Now I've got to bring it back because I want to set the grommet in now. Like so. Excuse my arm. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's just curved round nicely. And put another one in there. And set that one in. Right, that's those done. I'll be needing that again for the closure one in a minute. So I've got some green organza ribbon here. So I'm just threading it through one, up through the other one. And I'll tie it in a bow. You could always have the bow on the outside if you wanted to. Whichever is your preference. And I'm just going to tie that in a bow. Now I'm not going to knot it because it's already held in with the grommets. If I was just holding it in with the ribbon, I would put a knot now just to hold it tight. But you can still rip the pages out as and when needed. And just leave that as it is. Just trim the end off there. So that's ready to go. So I'm going to look for a piece of the ephemera just to stick on here like I did with the dog. Just let me get my folder back in. Get rid of, find a nice piece of ephemera to go on there. There's a nice bunch of flowers, or I think that one will go better with the colour of the paper. I've moved my book as well. So just put some glue on here and glue this down. Why does your ink glue block up when you're ready for filming? Probably because I didn't put the top back on. Right, bear with. And just glue that in the middle, just for prettiness really. And you've still got your little pockets there. I'm not going to put anything in at the moment, but you can just put in, you know, a little journal card or a tag or something. Okay, so that's that. I'm not going to put a pocket on here, I'm just going to leave it for now. But that folds in like so, and that folds over. So I need to put a grommet in here to attach the closure ribbon. So I'm just going to put a pencil mark roughly in the middle, and I'm going to punch a hole. Let's just move that back to punch, and I'm going to punch that hole in there. Now what I like to do when it's being used as a closure is put some punched circles just for strength, and I'll show you what I mean. See these, I use waste offcuts just for punching bits out. So I'm going to use 4, 2 on each side, and what I'm going to do is punch a hole in those. Now I'm just going to mark it with my pencil where it looks roughly the centre, because very often you think you're getting the centre and then it doesn't quite work out. So I'm just putting those into the big bite, getting the punchy bit over where I think is the centre. And I'm going to glue these, glue 2 together first, like so. Then I'm going to glue that on one side of the opening, like so. Get it over the hole, and then glue these 2 together and do the same on the inside, like so, and glue that in. Glue that on the inside bit. Just gives it that little bit of strength when it's getting pulled shut with the ribbon. So I'm going to set the grommet in there. These are just nice little gifts. I always give them out to our doctor's receptionists at Christmas. I did sell quite a lot at my slimming club. I'm just going to set that one. I have to stand up for this, excuse me. Right, that one's set. I've got a piece of paper stuck there. Never mind, it will be fine. Right, so I need to attach the ribbon. So what I like to do is close it up. Get one end that I know will be enough for tying a bow, like that. Put it there. Wrap the other end round to meet that, and then cut it the same length as that. So that should do it there. But then I'm going to attach a dangle on a bead, on a bulb pin. So I'm just going to put the folded part of the ribbon through, and before I pull it tight I'm just going to put the bulb pin on, because I want it hanging on this piece here. So I've found a green bulb pin. This is one of my dangles, and I'm just going to attach it onto there before I pull it tight, like so. Okay, so I can pull that tight now, and that closes up. that wraps around and ties in a little bow, like so. And you can decorate the front up with some more ephemera or stickers or words, anything you wish, and it'll look nice. So it's just a nice little happy mail gift, or you could even pop it in with a card just as a little gift. It's not going to be too fat for postage. So okay, I will be back in a minute and show you the other one, another design. Okay, what I've got here is the other one is dried now, so you've got a pocket under there and you've got a pocket under there. But instead of making this into a trifold, I'm just going to have it as a little booklet like that. Now I quite fancy this as the front, because it's like got all the flowers on. And this is just a few pages from another notebook. So I'm going to cut this down to fit like so and just do it as a normal journal. So I'm going to chop it there and just chop it there. So I'm just going to put that, it's too thick to go on my guillotine. So what I'll do is I've got a mat and I'll use my craft knife with my metal ruler. So let's make sure it's straight. I'm just lining it up on the grid. Line up that line there and just get it the other side of the pencil line. I think we're right there. Now I'm keeping these offcuts because they will do to make either little concertina books or pages in another notebook, a nice long narrow one. And the same here. Get it great against the line, and so, okay, I'll have to rub that pencil line out, I've just missed it. Right, so I'm keeping all these pieces, they will go in my little scrap pile, and that's the booklet. Just rub out this pencil mark, which I haven't got my rubber with me, but I will do shortly. Right, let's get this, and that just slots into there. And then you've got, I'll not bother sewing this in for speed, you don't need to see me sewing it in, but also you've got little pockets there that you can put little postcards in, some more ephemera. You can decorate up with some of the stuff from the kit, which I will do, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I did make a bit of a mistake when I was doing my stitching. It just went off the spine. So what I'm going to do is just glue a piece of lace just to hide that as best I can. Like we all make mistakes, and I'm sure there's ways to hide most of them. So I'm just using a bit of sort of like Fabri-Tac glue here, and I've just got a piece of lace and I'm just going to glue it down around the spine just to hide that little mistake. Like I say, we all make them, so and it looks pretty as well, and you can't really see where I made a mess of the stitching, but I'm certainly not wasting a project like this. So trim the edges of the lace off, let that dry. So we've got a pocket here, and because on some of the printing my printer just missed the edge off, this is like a hat, so I'm going to just glue this under the edge of the flap of the envelope just to hide that misprinted part. And I'm going to make sure that it's glued well on the edges, then it's not going to get lifted each time stuff is being put in and out of the envelope. So that's one side, so you've got a pocket in there. Okay, and you've also got a pocket at this side as well. I will find another piece of ephemera to do a similar thing there. So you've got that. So that's your little notebook ready, and then like I say, you can decorate up with bits and bobs. I'm always wary if somebody's going to use it in a handbag, you don't want anything too sort of elaborate. But I could like put a couple of pieces of that on. I could put that on, then you could put a name on it. So in fact I think I shall do that because that is rather pretty. I found that this morning when I was tidying up upstairs. I've been doing a bit of organising of my craft room. Well, not organising, more sort of tidying up, and I want to label boxes and stuff. So I'm going to put that in the middle roughly, and then glue a couple of these on. Now I'm just going to put a dab of glue on the end of each petal and in the middle of this one. I found a full box of laces upstairs, and I really do need to start to use some of them. So let's just glue that on, just for a bit of prettiness, like so. Okay, so I'm not going to put a closure on that one. You could just tie a piece of ribbon round, like so. I'll just do that. Put a dangle on it. Just a couple of ways of making little notebooks. I do love making notebooks, and all those offcuts of paper, these I will be using in some project or other. So that's me for today. So what have we got? Got those notebooks, this one that I made. So no doubt somebody will be getting that in a bit of happy mail. And remember, I do still have 2 journals up for sale in my Ko-fi shop. I think it was the video previous to this one, just before Christmas, and one a little bit earlier. That's a trifold fabric journal, absolutely gorgeous, all in the Ko-fi shop. So thank you for joining me today, and I shall see you all next time. Bye.